Okay. We are here. Here we go. Into the
Let's
football
go.
talk. Into the football talk. What is up, Benji Iverson? Welcome. Man hates me, leveled up as opposed to starter, second receiver. He gets injured. Pretty much. That's man likes to do that. Like I said, like the higher you level up somebody, the more tired they're getting, and it does that. Yeah, you gotta watch your.
Also, if you rush plays, makes the guy tired, unable to recover a little bit.
Yeah, like I've had my running back get injured many a times because I would rush like the first because I want to get him like 100 yards rushing within a certain amount of time. So I'm just running plays after play, and then all of a sudden he's like in like a bruised knee or some shit like that. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I need to slow down. Anyway, back to real life football. Besides Madden, what a week, Chief. What a week. A lot of close games, a lot of crazy outcomes, and just a hell of a week, honestly. That's it.
Yeah, a couple of good games. Definitely good football this week. Sunday was a hell of a day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And kind of top started off, going down the list. We got the Giants versus Eagles game, which like as much as both teams are struggling, if you will, I kind of saw Eagles not having a problem against the Giants, but Giants stuck in there. It was a 1 point game.
Yeah, that was a very close game. Sorry, I was waiting for my thing to load up for me. There we go.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying, like, I mean, like, just going down the list. I mean, yeah, like I was just telling you before, Daniel Jones, 187 yards, which isn't much, but I mean, that could have. I mean, he still had two touchdowns and interceptions, which matches Carson Wentz, who had 359 yards with the same stuff. But still, I mean, Daniel Jones, 66% with 20 for 30. I mean, you just got to get the ball downfield more. I mean, I can tell you that he's probably, if I move down the list a little bit, yeah, like most of his passes are going to Wayne Gallman, 5 catches for 20 yards. So basically, he's just throwing dump off plays to get rid of the ball. Or Evan Ingram, who's, I mean, a little bit better stats, 6 for 46, but again, like mostly dump it off to his tight end to get rid of the ball. It's like, dude, take a shot. Just throw downfield. Like, what do you have to lose? You know, you got
Yeah.
receivers, let them play. So that's the way I see that. Rushing wise, Daniel Jones showed something else for us this last week. I don't, I don't know if you heard about that, Chief. The 21.2 miles per hour run he had.
Oh yeah, the one that he fell on.
The one that the as they say the turf monster came and got him. What's up, crazy kid? Welcome, buddy. Welcome.
His bottom half was just moving a little slower than his top half for some reason though. And he's real top heavy, so he just kind of went over it. That's why.
Yeah,
Got big ass shoulders.
he's not used to being a running quarterback at all. And I'm pretty sure all that extra room he had downfield while running, he probably was like, oh God, is this happening? This is for real. This is for real. This is oh, stumbling, bumbling. Oh man, but I mean, if we want to talk about like interesting flops on the field, well, we'll get to that when we get to the Falcons game. Now, before we talk about that, we have pretty decent game here. And honestly, the thing I think led to the Eagles' victory would, I mean, honestly, it's just a close game overall. I mean, I really couldn't tell you where the team lost it. I just think it was down to the last second. Like I said, it was 14-10 going into the fourth quarter, and Philadelphia scored a touchdown, and same with the Giants, and then all the Eagles really needed was the extra few points, and they got what they needed. So, unfortunately, I mean, feel bad for the Giants because they almost had this one, but Eagles came out on top.
2-4-1, best team in the fucking division, baby.
Oh, and the sexy emos from Chief. I like those. Sexy. And COD after 9 hours download. Yep, that sounds like COD, all right. That's definitely COD, bud. I'm sorry you actually went through that. All right. Yeah, I know, freaking ESPN. But like I said, moving on from that game, we have another close nail biter with the Lions and Falcons, another 1 point game. But
What?
go ahead.
Uh, what an absolute boof by Todd Gurley. And I mean, I want to feel bad. I do because you could tell he knew he fucked up. He tried to drop so quickly and just I think that's the first time I've ever seen like half of the opposing team going, no, 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 they scored, holding up fucking touchdown
And
signs.
I think
It
it's the
was
first time I've ever seen
absolutely awesome.
somebody get up pissed off that he scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Yep.
Like he got up like mad as hell. He was like and it was a smart play. I mean like because Gurley literally busted up the middle, had the defensive tackle almost take him down, which he actually broke off that. The second guy wrapped around him like he was gonna try tackling Gurley, and I'm not sure what Gurley was doing, if he was trying to still power through or not. I just know at some point the guy like wrapped him and then just immediately was like let go, and then with the left arm that was next to Gurley right here, he kind of like gave an extra push. Like he was like like go ahead. And Gurley was like, oh shit, that's the end zone, and the ball literally landed like if this is the white line right here, the ball landed right like just barely on the inside line right there, and man. I, I gotta say, like from for me as well, like if I'm a defensive player for the Falcons, I've never been so insulted in my fucking life. Like your offense is trying not to score, so they don't have to put you on the field. The defense on the other side wants them to score to put their offense against your defense. If I'm Atlanta's defense, I'm looking around like, are you guys okay? Do you realize what they just said about us pretty much like within that few seconds of playing time? You're basically looking at our defense like we're booty, we're trash. Now, you know, you don't really have much, backup from this
I
dude,
mean, yeah.
but I mean, at least have some, at least have a pair to be able to say, hey, fuck these guys. Do you really like? Let's kick Stafford's ass and not let him drive down the field. No, no, that's not what happened. Last freaking 2 seconds of the game, end zone, wide open tight end. Okay, then like fuck me, right? Just oh my god, dude, just like just fire sale. Like, that's all I'm gonna say right now. Falcons fire sale your entire fucking defense. Go to free agency. Go to just get a whole new lineup because what like how do you? I don't understand that. I don't get that. I'm washing my hands of that. If I mean you got anything else for that one,
Just done.
like that's like seriously, that's me. But like I said, you got anything extra you want to say about that?
No, that covers that one pretty well. I
Yeah.
was
I mean, besides that, Todd Gurley did have the 2 touchdowns, one that was fucked up. But yeah, 23 carries, 63 yards for the 2 touchdowns to at least help them score. And I mean, otherwise, Matt Ryan, you got to get the ball in the end zone, my guy. Like the fact that, oh my lord, this thing.
you got it.
Pretty much like, but basically, I don't even need to look at stats. I've already seen enough. The fact that he threw over 300 plus yards and had 1 touchdown. Again, it doesn't matter. I could throw for 500 plus yards, and the fact that I couldn't score it besides one time throwing the ball. I mean, if I had at least like 4 rushing touchdowns or someone on my team did, that would make sense. But if I have no touchdowns, so all I'm doing is getting field goals, punts, etc., what the fuck am I doing? Like that's you're not helping your team in any way, shape, or form. You're literally just, like I said, you're just not helping the team whatsoever. Pretty much, you're just there. You're just standing there like, hi. Anyway, Ah, frustrating. But that's where we come up to the next guy, Mr. Baker Mayfield with the Browns. After all the weeks that I've been bitching about him, saying he's not a quarterback, he's not the answer, he's not a quarterback, he's not the answer. Horrible stats, horrible stats. 5 touchdown passes, almost reached 300 yards. I'm not even mad. I'm not even worried about the yards anymore. 5 touchdown passes. That's what you need from your quarterback. The fact that he scored 5 touchdown passes without Chubb there, he had Kareem Hunt running occasionally, but he didn't score any touchdowns. So kudos to Baker Mayfield for stepping up and actually playing quarterback for the Browns this last game against the Bengals and pulling out a 3-point win again on a really close game. Really freaking close game.
Yeah, that was it was definitely a good game. I'm sad that Joe Burrow is just not getting these wins. I mean, but he's had a hell of a fucking year already. That's for sure.
I mean, legitimately though,
I mean,
you ain't lying. I mean, do you have the? I mean, just look at. I mean, if we look at his stats right now, like for the year, he probably is ranking up in the top percentage. I'm pretty sure.
let me see here.
Okay. While you're doing that,
For
because Joe Burrow even has a rushing touchdown this game, so technically, Joe Burrow had 3 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing touchdown. He did throw a pick, but then Baker had the 5 passing touchdowns for 1 interception. So
so Joe Burrow is third in the league for passing
third in the league for
yards.
passing. Wow. So he's in the top three for
He
passing yards.
um where did he
Duggan.
That's not what I wanted.
I know. Madden's been messing with me a little, or Madden. ESPN stats, that's where we check our stuff, honestly. Has been messing with me a little bit too, as far as for like trying to read stuff, and it's like, oh, hey, by the way. And I'm like, no, let me read.
And he has 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Not bad. What do you got for or I'm sorry. Um yeah, no. 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's right. What does he have for rushing touchdowns?
He has 9 touchdowns, or
Passing touchdowns.
okay.
And he has looks like 2 or 3. Oh no, he has 5. Nope, that's interceptions. Jesus. What are they doing? 1, 2, 3. He has 3 rushing touchdowns as well.
So yeah, I mean the kid is
That's
doing
why
what
I
he
normally
can.
write my stuff down.
Oh, it's no worries. Like I was saying, like it's one of those things where, like I said, I like to like kind of see this stuff because we see the way that these like Joe Burrow is a rookie with these numbers. He's top three in passing yards, which I mean, like finally they're passing Dak Prescott, which again his career's like oh rip his.
P's and P's.
But like Joe Burrow, like it's just like he's like the fact that he's doing these stats with the Bengals, who last year had Andy Dalton, who couldn't find anybody pretty much. Like he was just not helpful at all. I mean, talk about a complete flip around for them right now. Even with them with their record, which makes me incredibly in disarray to see because he's trying so hard as their quarterback and he's showing how great of a leader he can be for that team. Once they start getting that defense down, like that defense needs to first off, like they already traded with Carlos Dunlap to Seattle because, like I said, Pete Carroll has a freaking. I don't care. We're a YouTube freaking show, so or Twitch, so Pete Carroll has a fucking hard on for defensive linemen. I don't know what it is, but he will go out. He'll be like, "Wait, did you say Carlos Dunlap? I know that kid. He's a defensive lineman. Yes. We definitely could use another one of those. We already have like 20. They fill our practice squad, but I need him. It's just like Carroll, we go get the cornerbacks, go get defensive backs. That's what we need. But why would we need them when we're just hitting the quarterback with our sexy defensive linemen? That's all we need. Like that's all he wants, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world. Boo Mayfield and the Browns. You know what, Iverson? You can say that, Mayfield still had 5 touchdowns. He still proved me wrong. That's it. Wick, how you doing there, buddy, with your sexy face? I love it. But yeah, anyway, Bengals with that trade though. Going back to the Bengals, reset that team and that defense for sure. Make sure you get some young blood in there and get some actually players who actually want to play defense. And I think that Bengals are going to be a better team, hopefully within the next year or two, once they start getting all these younger, stronger players in that actually want to play football for Cincinnati and not just you know just kind of chill there like, oh well, I play for the Bengals. I already got my contract. I'm good. Ugh, just ah. Anyway, sorry I got caught off on that. The next one we have though is the just how Steelers and Titans, where you know Big Ben was actually not that great throwing the ball, but I mean they still got away with the win, and
They adapted.
they definitely did. The Steelers team made sure they still stayed strong, and they got the 2 touchdowns needed from Ben Roethlisberger, even though he threw 3 picks. Defense held strong against Tannehill, who only threw excuse me 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry only got one off 75 yards, and AJ Brown killed it for them. 6 catches, 153 yards, and 1 touchdown. But it all led down to the wire where they just needed to tie the ball game to get to the overtime. And what happens again?
Fuck Gotskowski.
Fucking Goskowski. And the way
Like,
Chief said it, though, is fuck Goskowski.
uh, I mean, like, all right. If this was the first time that this was an issue, all right, sometimes it happens. Like, you choke under pressure. Still, you're a stooge, but like, I get it. Sometimes shit happens. But like, this is now what, the second game that they've, or second or third game where he fucked up, and this time it was just really in that clutch moment where he was needed.
Which is the main point of a kicker. Like, we still remember that first week where he missed, what was it, 5 field goals that first week? And then the next week just clutched, like, or was it, maybe I was thinking this wrong. Maybe the next week he scored 5 field goals, and the week before he missed like 3. Either way, you can't have a kicker like that who
Um,
one week is like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be on target
well,
every
yeah,
game.
he went 1 for 4
Okay, yeah,
his opening week.
that's right, 1 for 4.
They ended up winning, but just barely.
And that's the thing though, is that's like you said, that's why you need that kicker who can be clutch though. Is like for me, the only way I can relate to it, and I'm sorry I keep bringing out Seattle references, is Blair Walsh. We signed from Minnesota after he missed this 20-some-yard field goal attempt in the playoffs for the Vikings. I don't know what made Seattle sign him, but they did. And he went 70% for us, or like either that or less than that for the season with Seattle, which is completely terrible as a kicker. You don't want that as your kicker, especially when you have them need them in clutch situations. So, I mean, that's the way I look at that, and that's why seeing Gostkowski miss that field goal. And I mean, it's only their first loss, so you can't. So it's not like oh, you're fired, but it is something you want to kind of pay attention to and like possibly look into as you know either assigning an unrestricted free agent kicker, looking at the draft, seeing like if there's a kicker that's going to be coming out of college that you want to try out, all that good shit.
I What I would do to get under Gotskowski's skin a little bit, it's either going to help him or prove that he's done. They just need to start working out their backup kicker a little bit more.
Do they
Have
have
him
one?
get a couple of extra rep ins every day. I don't know if they have a backup kicker,
Or
but
even just sign one, like sign one to the practice squad. That's what I would do. Is
yeah.
like go out. If you have a space in your practice squad, go sign a kicker. Just be like, especially one that you were seeing that you were wanting to kind of like check out. Check him out. Have him come to the practice squad. Let him do his thing, and let Gostkowski know about it so that he can, like you said, get that fire under his skin. Like, oh, these guys are really thinking about moving on from me. Like, no, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him up. And if he doesn't show up, then obviously he's not worth their time. But yeah, so overall, that game with the Steelers and Titans, close game down to the wire. Fuck Gostkowski, and Otherwise, like I said, really close game, and great job by Tennessee defense to keep Roethlisberger in check with 3 interceptions. Shout out to them for doing what they can, but gotta move that ball forward. Tannehill, gotta do something about that. And moving on to another, again, just what a week. Close game to Panthers and Saints. Saints pulling away by a 3-point win. But man, another just close game nail biter. Bridgewater 254 yards with 2 touchdowns, only missing 5 completions. Drew Brees 287 yards with 2 touchdowns, 1 sack each, and
Only missing 7 completions on Drew Brees' side.
yep, exactly. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to totally throw Drew Brees on the bus like that. Yeah,
Oh,
seven
you
missed
could.
attempts for him only. So like both were on point, both were on target. Just back and forth, back and forth. The only thing I would say that like that I say that helped them win this game was the fact that their rushing yards was 100 yards more than Carolina, who only had 37 total. They each had a touchdown in their rushing game, but the fact that the Saints got that extra yardage to be able to get that field goal up that they needed to win the game, I mean, that could be wrong. It could be that wasn't the case that won them the game, but honestly, I believe that that helped set them up for the win at the end, pretty much. Also, Joey Slye missing field goal doesn't help either. So close game, all around great game, but you have to have your team step up all around. You can't rush the ball for less than 50 yards and expect to win a game unless your freaking quarterback is throwing for 500, 600 plus yards. And speaking of the kicker, shout out to the Bills kicker Tyler Bass for completely owning the scoreboard for the Bills in this one against the Jets, 18-10, going 6 for 8. He didn't even just kick the ball 6 times; he kicked the ball 8 times and missed 2 field goals. Don't get me wrong, 2 field goal misses still sucks. Like not like as far as like him sucking, but just sucks in general for the kicker. But the fact that he had to kick the ball 8 times for these guys, holy hell!
Yeah, I mean, that just reiterates my statement. I mean, like Josh Allen, incredible quarterback. He's having a killer year.
Absolutely
But I mean, just reiterates. Jets suck. They lost to a kicker.
true.
They didn't lose to the Bills. They lost to a kicker. In my eyes.
Well, and then that's where I want to almost like reiterate, like it's a shout out to their defense for stopping Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and all of them from scoring touchdowns, or is it a like you said, or is it like you know what the hell's going on in freaking with the offense that they can't take advantage of their of the with the defense. I don't know. Like that's where I'm like confused because I mean the defense, like you said, I'm going through stats and completely off the charts. You got Neville Hewitt, 13 total tackles. Avery Williamson, 13 total tackles. Marcus May, 10 total tackles. And like just so many players just going through and getting like multiple consecutive like they had a total of 80 tackles compared to Buffalo's 52. And so I mean they were like doing all they could to stuff Buffalo's offense, but then at the end of the game you still have, the kicker come in and score, like I said, 6 for 8. So even though you're tackling, you're still getting them yards. So that's again you I guess just all in all, you're right. I can't. I'm trying to find a way to defend the Jets, and I really cannot.
No, you can't. Like they're going 0-16 this year. Trevor Lawrence is going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to stay one more year, and then they're going to go 0-16 next year, and Trevor Lawrence is going to end up on the Jets in 2022.
which is
Calling it right now.
which is already something that excuse me. A lot of coughs coming in. Sorry guys, but I got water. Uh, Already Trevor Lawrence is talking about hinting about possibly going back to Clemson for a senior year. So you know he's doing what he can to I don't know if prolonging is the right word for this, but it's one of those things where he's I think he's very in tune with what's going on with this year and his draft stock possibility. Let's just say I think
Um,
I think he's
I
very
do. I
very
was going to say Yes, I do believe too. I don't know if it is for sure or if it's just being talked about, but the NCAA was basically talking about doing basically everybody from that played football this year, it wouldn't count because of how fucky this year is and how some schools are playing and other schools
Like it
aren't
wouldn't like
and
if you were a
everything.
junior playing
So
football, you
basically,
would
if
come back
you're
as a junior football player, but still be a senior, possibly.
yes, so yeah, so there is potential that for like basically the next 4 years, there are going to be college players that because of this aren't actually in college anymore, but are playing their senior year as a football player.
Like they already got their degree, they're all good to go, but they can still
Yes,
like
but they would still be eligible to play football because of the COVID thing.
that'd be pretty
Like I
cool to
said, I
see.
don't know if that passes, if that had passed, or if that is a definite thing yet. But I do know that was something that they were talking about, which could ultimately change the entire game of football for the next couple of years because, potentially you have people that, oh, well, this person, is technically only played his junior year of football, but he's a senior and he wants to enter the draft. Or
Which at that point
you
is
have
like,
people like Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence who could, spend one more year, spend one more year outside of the NFL just to get more reps. Or you have those guys that, well, I should get into the NFL early. So it's gonna make drafting interesting for the next couple of years. Like,
you're not wrong on that because I think about like what happens to those players that let's say it's one of those like junior football players as a senior who graduated and he's like I'm gonna try my luck in the draft. He doesn't get drafted. Let's just say he's a free agent, didn't get drafted, and phone hasn't been going off the hook or anything. Can he then return to the football team to play one more year in college, or is he
there
because
was
he
there
eligible?
was a college player that did that this year. Actually, I don't know his name. We're
Okay.
not as fancy as ESPN. We don't have that stuff on deck. But um, no, there was a college player. He, I'm pretty sure he was from the Big Ten, and the Big Ten decided that they weren't playing this year. Um, back a couple months ago, obviously they're playing now.
He declared for the
Um,
draft.
yeah, he declared that he was going to go to the draft, and they decided that they were playing again. So I guess he decided just to come back and do it. Well, I think it was he didn't get drafted,
But then say,
and he was like, "Well, then I'm going to come back." Yeah, so
okay.
it will be interesting if they allow it or if they do kind of like you basically
Yeah,
have
the
to
minute
sign a
you're
thing
the minute
saying
you
you
put yourself
choose to
eligible,
play or you.
yeah, the minute you put yourself eligible for the NFL draft, you're basically you're graduating college. You're done. You can't reinstate for a full year or something like that, possibly.
Yeah.
So I can see them like because I can see like I said like a player taking advantage of the situation, being like, well, let me see what my stock market is at right now for the draft. Oh, I wasn't even drafted this year. Okay, let me go back, play another year, do my best, and then try again and have
Yeah.
it be like, oh wow, I actually did better this time. Boom. Yeah. Interesting concept. We'll see though. And like we said, I mean, Trevor Lawrence will definitely hop on that just to avoid the Jets. Because I know if you've seen the memes nowadays, we're pretty adamant that Jets want Sam Darnold, or not Sam Darnold. They have Sam Darnold, but just Sam Darnold's not wanted anymore. They want Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor is well aware of that. I'm pretty sure. The GM is probably texting him on the side, being like, "Hey, buddy, how how's college going? You
Yeah.
you doing well there, bud? No, I saw your game. You got a few touchdowns there, no interceptions. I like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Listen, we owe 7 now. We got number one pick so far. We like it.
We tanking.
We liking
What are you doing?
it. What's your future plans?
I don't know what rules there are about that. Like,
it's
I mean,
Wolf.
what's the stop? Like, what's to stop the Jets from flying Trevor Lawrence out and, oh, hey, check out this beautiful hotel, and hey, here, we just bought you a new car. Actually, I do know there is
I
some
just
stuff about
I
that,
just
but
bought
like,
it for a friend. Like I don't, there's nothing to it. Shoot, let me be his friend real quick. Hold on. And moving on though from that with the Jets and everything, we'll see what happens though for sure. And I'm sure as we get on, we're gonna start seeing more. Hopefully, they'll start letting us, you know, feeding us more information about the rules and what they're trying to do and so on. Because it'd be nice to kind of get an idea of how sports in general is going in the future, especially after this COVID thing really took out a lot of stuff. Like it frighteningly to say the least. So definitely excited slash hopeful for next year to see how things kind of get back to normal. Um, but speaking of craziness and oddities, if you will, Dallas and Washington game came up, and yeah, I mean Washington showed up to play, and Dallas was I I don't know what to say. Andy Dalton 9 for 19, 75 yards with an interception. Went out. Oh, and he also had 3 sacks for 30 yards. Went out in the third quarter due to an unnecessary hit by John Bostic, which basically used his shoulder like a freaking torpedo to Andy Dalton's head while he was sliding. Once again, completely unnecessary because I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't realize Andy Dalton was such a fucking threat to the Washington football team up to this point. But apparently, Bostic felt the need to take him out. And now they have Ben DiNucci in there who only got like one drive in with 3 sacks, or I don't know how many drives in. And Washington just completely decimated the Cowboys. They had no chance for doing anything. Ezekiel Elliott, 12 for 45, 3.8 yards carrying. Um, just nothing going on there. Antonio Gibson on the other side, though. Kyle Allen, 15 for 25, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns. Antonio Gibson, 20 carries, 128 yards with the touchdown. Just, it was all Washington this game, and the poor Cowboys just have no idea what the hell they're doing now. Like, they have no quarterback. Their running back is pretty much just like there, like he just stands there. So I don't know. Cowboys just are just like just uncomfortable as a team.
so last week with Prescott going down,
Yeah,
was it last week or the week before?
the week
It was
before,
last week.
week before
Oh, was
last
it the week before?
last week Andy
Okay.
Dalton went 34-54 for like 250 yards, but like had like
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 picks. Yeah.
So, I mean, still similar though. It to me, like the Cowboys just got like the ultimate move in Mortal Kombat. They just got the shit kicked out of them. They had like one health bar left. They put up a good fight the following week, and then just finish him. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know. I have heard a couple interesting things about, what if, and this is just what if, obviously, but what if the Cowboys turn around and sign Kaepernick? I said something about it last week, too. If Andy Dalton wasn't performing, what if they turned around and signed Kaepernick? But it would definitely be interesting.
And it definitely would be interesting. It's all on that would be all on Jerry Jones and how he feels about Kaepernick. 'Cause I think that when that all started, just kind of thinking about it now, I remember Jerry was one of the few that really like he told his team he would not allow any of them to take a knee or anything like that. Like I remember like that was like a thing for him was like if you take a knee, you're cut from this team or something like that when it first came about. So I mean, to sign the main guy that started the movement would be an interesting aspect for the Cowboys. Um, so far, from what I saw, like I was telling you, looks like they signed Cooper Rush to the practice squad as a backup quarterback. Right now, they have DiNucci, I think, in with Garrett Gilbert as a backup to DiNucci. So right now, they have a backup and the practice squad safety player in case DiNucci goes down. But So far, yeah. I mean, from what I see, it would be nice to see, or it'd be kind of interesting to see them make a signing like that for a quarterback that's in the free agency. But honestly, I don't see them doing it. I think they're just sticking with the rookie, saying, "All right, kid, your time to shine. Do what you can do." And
Yeah.
just kind of like end the year on a strong note, going to the draft probably. Moving on from there, we got the Packers Texans, where freaking Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just A Rodgers. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's killing it.
283 yards,
I mean,
4 touchdowns.
he had he had an absolutely beautiful quote last week where a reporter had asked him, oh, what are you gonna do now that teams have figured you out? And he goes, 1 in 5. 1 in 5 teams have figured us out.
Well, about 20% of them know about me. Okay,
Like
just 20.
I mean, partially biased because I'm a big Pat McAfee fan. He's been on the Pat McAfee show every Tuesday. But like Aaron Rodgers coming out of his little like publicity or like his like public image bubble where he didn't really address anything and it was just purely football. Like seeing him come out of that, like Aaron Rodgers is an absolute savage and he fucking deserves to be.
And I
And
mean,
I absolutely love seeing him every week. Just like, yeah, I know I'm fucking killing it, but like, I also know that I can't keep thinking I'm killing it or I'll stop killing it.
well, I mean, then the fact that he's actually been, like you said, he's been doing what he has been for his team, and like like where like you said, being on the Pat McAfee show way back when the season started, him saying that he feels really good, really limber, and of course some people brushed it off like, oh, he says that every year, and I'm like, not really. He never really mentioned the fact that he was sore or anything, but the fact that now he feels limber and everything, and everyone's like, well, that could mean anything. I'm pretty sure a 5-1 record with him being like top tier, like top five quarterbacks right now, with like stats wise and everything, pretty much seals the deal that he's feeling really freaking good this year. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers feeling pretty damn good.
And then even with Aaron Jones out, you still have Jamal Williams stepping up, 19 carries, 77 yards for a touchdown, just keeping the ball rolling there for the Green Bay rushing team, which is good. Houston wise, Deshaun Watson, he did what he could, 20-39 or 29-39 with 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. Needs more of his running system though. David Johnson, who came from that D Hop trade, as we all know, the infamous D Hop trade, still not producing numbers, 14-42, and it does make me sad to see that because I want to like David Johnson. I want to have hope for him as a running back. But otherwise, I mean, it's probably not even David Johnson. It could be the freaking O line because that's what I've seen so far is that the Texan O line is just them and the Giants are right now the worst O lines in the NFL right now. Like the Jets just have a bad football team. I'm not going to blame the O line, but the Texans and the Giants, both O lines, are just ridiculously just unhelpful whatsoever. It, there's no words for it. No words. But yeah, I just had to go into that a bit because I was just like, it makes me sad to see somebody like Deshaun Watson who get 3 sacks for 23 yards and doing what he can with numbers, like getting the ball downfield and what he can, but still losing 35-20 because they have just lack of production on the offense and on the defensive side right now, and their coaching is just pretty much all scrambled around. But
Yeah. I like how the Green Bay Packers are doing. I mean, Houston. I mean, I give them. They played an okay game. It wasn't. I mean, I don't think there was any fault in the Texans. More just Green Bay killed it more.
mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Like Houston ended up kicking 3 more field goals, and Mason Crosby never came out for a field goal because, like you said, Green Bay every time they were in the red zone or just down the field, they had touchdowns waiting for them with the 4 touchdowns and the one for Jamal Williams. So, I mean, and like I said, like, and then I'm looking at the longest passing they had all game, and Robert Tonyan had a 31-yard pass, and Devontae Adams had a 45-yard pass. Other than that, I mean, everything was like short, stocky, like just simple passes, just get off field, and you know, it's just how it happened, and Rodgers just played phenomenally, and I mean, Texans, like I said, once they get past this whole Bill O'Brien wackiness season they've had, they'll probably do better next year, hopefully. But hey, we always say that about every team. There's always next year,
Yeah, always next.
right? And now to start this one, where I watched the Raiders score the first touchdown, 7-0. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a good game. You got the Raiders scoring 7-0 on the Buccaneers. Let's see what happens. I was wrong. Chief, what happened? Well, Chief, tell us about what happened with the Buccaneers.
Oh shit! I mean, Tom Brady's just fucking killing it now. I think Tom Brady finally found his groove again. I mean, yeah, just I mean, Derek Carr, not a super terrible game. 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Got sacked a couple of times, but once again, not necessarily his fault. Uh, let's see. And no super big receivers. I mean, he targeted everybody fairly equally. Um, just, I mean, Gronk in for a touchdown. Gronk's becoming a much bigger part of Tampa Bay's offense again, which is just awesome to see Gronk and Brady going hard again. Um, I think they are second place right now for most quarterback to receiver period touchdowns.
Makes sense.
Um, yeah, and I mean, and just next week, I forget who they're playing off the top of my head. Next week, I think Buccaneers are going to do the same thing. Just kind of keep doing that consistency. And then, as everyone knows, they have a new star wide receiver. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as saying star, but um, what's his name? Geez, Mike Evans. I do believe he is out for a couple of games.
I think
So
maybe,
if
yeah, because I know, like, me, I have fantasy with him, but from what I know, right now they have him as active, but um, I know that he has been having he's been dealing with an ankle injury or something along those lines for the last few weeks. Actually, he has not been able to really be productive as he should have been because of like I said, there's some bothering his like he can't really run as well as he should be, pretty much. But and honestly, with this game, I mean, first off, just kind of get the joke out of the way. Imagine if they were able to get Antonio Brown in for this game against the Raiders. Wouldn't that be a fun time? Anyway, but besides that, looking at the Buccaneers receiving core, like I said, like you were saying, they have a really strong receiving core right now, and I mean, Scotty Miller, 6 catches, 109 yards for a touchdown. Chris Godwin, 9 catches, 88 yards for a touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, 5 catches, 62 yards for a touchdown. I mean, they have all these guys that are like stepping up already, doing so well for the team. And they went out and signed Antonio Brown. And the only person I can see why they would sign him for is to, like you said, like possibly replace Evans. But then it's like, you know, for how long? Like when Evans comes back, then what? Like what are we gonna do then? And that's where I feel like, you know, I understand the idea of signing Antonio Brown, especially with how much he likes playing with Tom Brady. But I feel like morality wise, like it's gonna affect the team a bit because like I said, Scotty Miller, he's a guy that was pretty much a number 4 receiver, and he has the number 1 stats for this game, and he was just on point and running the ball as well as anybody, and if they had to say, okay, Scotty, you're going back to practice squad or, hit the sidelines, like, I mean, shoot, like for me, like after having a productive game like that and watching somebody just get signed from, excuse my, insulting ways, but seeing somebody get signed off the psych ward to come play, I'd be super pissed. And that's the way that these guys probably look at it. And I don't know. Like I said, for me, it's a lot of morality clauses that are more clauses. That I'm thinking of, like, I'm trying to think of the word, but a lot of morale issues that could come about with this signing.
Yes, it will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of went to depth on that. That's just been my opinion. I've been trying to figure out how to say it with the whole signing, but yeah. um, Overall, though, yeah, I think you had it right. Just a great game from Brady and had his guys on point. Just decimated the Raiders.
Four made this. Yeah,
the
3-3. You can still come back from that.
Oh yeah, no, they're still in a good position. I mean, yeah, they're in a tough division with the Chiefs and the well, with the Chiefs mostly. I mean, they got the Chargers and the Broncos. Broncos aren't doing too much. Chargers, they got Herbert still figuring stuff out. So right now they could be a possible wild card team. They just need to figure that part out. And who knows? They could catch up to the Chiefs easily too. We never know what could happen in Kansas City. Um, but yeah, the next game we have up right now. After that is the Seahawks and Cardinals games for me. And wait, I want to make sure I have that one because we just did Packers and Texans. Oh no, we did Buccaneers Raiders. One second, make sure I have the right one though set up. 40. I'm a lot of whack here. Nope, I got Chiefs Broncos next. That's my fault. I'm a lot of whack here. So Chiefs Broncos. Chiefs just destroyed the Broncos. I mean, do you want to go into detail about it? do you?
Well, I mean, they killed it on every single aspect. I mean, honestly, I will say I was not impressed by the passing game, but it
Legit.
got the job done.
Honestly, I can agree with you on that because I'm actually shocked. Like 15 and 23, 200 yards for one touchdown from Mahomes with 3 sacks. Legit had barely anything going for him this game. Like it looks like, I mean, that just looks like basic numbers. I mean, it's weird to say that because I don't want to sound insulting. It's just like literally he like kind of came out was like he'll throw to this guy, throw to that guy. But then I'm looking at the rest of the team and it's like okay, you got Chad Henne who ran 4 carries for -2 yards but still got a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire 8 carries, 46 yards for a touchdown. They even had Chad Henne come in for a few going 2 for 2 for 13 yards this game as well. Like he came in actually for a drive or two. Whereas on the other side, you had Drew Lock go 24 for 40, 0 TDs and 2 picks, sacked 3 times, and Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon actually did what they could to run the ball 9 for 79, 17 for 68 with the one touchdown. And Drew Lock scored a touchdown as well running, but I mean, I don't know if, like, where will the scores go? That's the question. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's one. One kickoff return for a touchdown by Byron Pringle. Interception return by Daniel Sorensen for a touchdown. Yeah, it was just man, holy crap! Just all around great game for the Chiefs, pretty much against the Broncos. Period. And another one that was pretty brutal to watch: Niners versus Patriots. Yikes! Definitely did not see this one coming there.
I mean, I love it. I just absolutely love it. It's very nice to see the Patriots, Patriots being taken down a notch. They've been on their high horse for far too long. Rightfully so. They were the most dominant franchise in the NFL for at least 15 years. But they're kind of, I wouldn't call it a rebuild year, more as a refocus year. And they just really haven't found that focus yet. I mean, I think they need to run the ball a little bit more. They need to let Cam do more of what he does best and go into a more hybrid playbook than the pass heavy that they have been running all those years with Brady.
And as interesting as it is, seeing that, it's funny because both sides actually really didn't do well passing. I mean, Garoppolo's numbers look nice 20 for 25 for 277 yards, but he had no touchdowns on 2 interceptions. And then you just look at New England, and it was just a cluster of, oh no. Cam Newton went 9 of 15 for 98 yards, 3 picks, and a sack. Whereas Jared Stidham then had to come in and replace him, 6 for 10, 64 yards with one pick as well. So the in total, the New England passing was about 150 yards off 15 to 25 for 4 picks. I mean, we, we, just those are like almost like Madden rookie numbers. Like I'm going to play New England on rookie mode, and that's what he got right there. Holy cow! And then you look on the other side again with the rushing. I mean, I don't know what happened to Jeff Wilson, but he just took off on this team. He went 17 for 112 yards, 70 carries for 112 yards, 3 total touchdowns for well for rushing anyway. Hell of a game, hell of a game for him. Kyle Juice, I can't say his name that well. The fullback Kyle Juice is sick. Also had a touchdown as well. I mean, basically,
Use check, I think.
use check. Okay,
That's
thank
how
you.
it's said. Something like that. Yeah, I have trouble pronouncing it myself.
Um, Basically, Garoppolo was able to get the ball downfield much as he can, and Wilson or Juszczyk were able to get the ball into the end zone for them where they could not. So I mean, Niners were just scoring left and right on their running game, getting downfield their passing game, and New England just could not get the ball going in any sort of way whatsoever. Um, Pretty much New England's defense matched up pretty decently, or pretty much with the San Francisco defense, interception wise, both sides had, like I said, the 4 picks for San Francisco, 2 for Jamar Taylor, 1 for Emmanuel Mosley, 1 for Fred Warner, 1 for Devin McCourty on New England, and 1 for J.C. Jackson New England. So, I mean, everything else looks pretty much the same as stats wise. Only difference is those pick numbers and the running back touchdowns. That's it. I mean, San Francisco just ran the ball on them, and New England just kept giving the ball back to them. I mean, rough game. Rough again.
Yes.
All right, hear me out. NFL, but gamers, the NFL, but for gamers, GFL. So, are you talking about like for like Madden, or what do you mean there, Squid? What are you talking about?
Or
Yeah,
just like the creation of a league like that. I mean, isn't that what esports is, though?
yeah, exactly. That's what. Excuse me.
And I think that's just hard only because like it's not one game. Like it wouldn't, are you gonna sit there and judge people based off of like a bunch of different games every year, or is it one specific game? I think that would just be hard.
It'd be an interesting way to set up. It would take a lot of that, like he said, like you have to do like he said, a lot of screening, a lot of like not screening, but what is it called? Like setting up rules in place, setting up like how you would judge people or how you would manage their stats, etc. Like like fantasy league stuff, etc. Like
Oh,
just
just gamers play football.
yeah. Or you talking about just yeah, like seeing a guy like me like show up, and be like, I'm a quarterback. um, Next game on the table though, we got the Chargers, which is shocking the Jaguars. you got you got Gardner Minshew, 14-27, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Actually stepped up. He tried to get some. I mean, I'm not sure how he only went 170 yards and oh, he had 5 sacks. That's why. But goodness,
Hmm.
I mean, the fact that he still got 2 touchdowns and no picks, and he was. I mean, he did what he could to get the ball downfield, but goodness gracious, 5 sacks! Like somebody help this man. James Robinson, 22 carries, 119 yards for a touchdown as well. I mean, like both those guys did what they could on offense. And then Justin Herbert said, "Yo, look, I got this. 27-43, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions off 1 sack. With Justin Herbert also getting 9 carries for 66 yards for a touchdown. Whereas the running backs then after that didn't do anything. 12 for 29 for Joshua Kelly, 2 for 14 Joe Reed, Justin Jackson 5 for 12, etc., etc. Or Joe Reed also had a touchdown. So yeah, pretty much LA Chargers had a total of 5 touchdowns from their passing and rushing, whereas the Jacksonville only had 3. And looking on from there, yeah, pretty much I would say that the main thing about this game is just like I said, like Jacksonville punted had no chance to really score the ball more. Like, Josh Lambo had no kicking whatsoever except for one extra point. Jacksonville punted the ball 5 times, whereas Los Angeles had 3 punts and 3 field goals, but only made 2. So I mean, pretty much it was all about field positioning and not getting the ball upfield as much as they should. Gardner Minshew, you gotta make better. You gotta make better decisions. Get the ball downfield. Yeah, you got 2 touchdowns, but you gotta lead that team in a better way. You can't just be dumping balls off and hope for the best. Come on, guys. It's just I keep picking Jacksonville. I hope I'm like, is it this week? No. Is it this week? No. 0 for 6 since they started 1-0. 6 straight losses. Have mercy. Oh my god.
Terrible.
Like the gamers actually play football. Oh Lord, Squid. I mean, get the asthma, get the inhalers, get the oxygen takes out. I don't like death to us all. I don't know what you're trying to do there, Squid. Rip Odell. Oh, I know. Out for the year. And for me, if I'm Odell, I believe in supernatural voodoo witchcraft, and I'm seeing this like calling my agent saying, "Hey, next year, get me out of Cleveland." I don't know who cursed me. I don't know who been to my house and put the freaking, you know, satanic symbol in my wall or whatever. I'm not doing good here. I'm not. This is not. I need out. Get me out of Cleveland.
Just get me out.
Like it does not look good to them right now. And next up, the unfortunate score of Seattle versus the Cardinals. I always say why I say unfortunate because I'm a Seattle fan, but I did call for Seattle to lose this one only because I see Arizona being hungrier. They're at home, and we've always had issues going against the Cardinals in their home arena as division rivals. And 3 point game, close game, but again, like just the mental mistakes that were being made were ridiculous. Russ Wilson, 33 50 yards, 388, 33 of 50 attempts, 388 yards with 3 touchdowns. Also threw 3 interceptions. Definitely not what I want to see from a quarterback at all with 2 sacks. Whereas Kyler Murray had no sacks, 34 of 48, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But he also ran the ball in for a touchdown as well. 14 carries, 67 yards. Russ Wilson, 6 carries on 84 yards. With Carlos Hyde also stepping up, 15 to 68 for a touchdown. And yeah, pretty much like just down the wire, same amount of scoring right there. 4 touchdowns each right there. But DeAndre Hopkins, 10 for 103. Tyler Lockett, hell of a game. 15 catches, 200 yards with 3 touchdowns. Just Russ Wilson, I think that's why he threw the 3 picks, was because when he would throw to Tyler, because there was 20 targets, so there's 5 total incompletions that he missed on Lockett, and I'm pretty sure most of them were interceptions, only because at some point when if you're Arizona, you're looking at Tyler Lockett like, okay, he has 10 catches right now, guys. Don't you think he likes throwing to him? Do you think we should start covering him? Okay, let's cover him. Interception, interception, interception. Wow, who'd have thought? Anyway, moving on from that. Uh, yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a great game, close game, but I mean, just I would say the interception mistakes definitely killed us, and I mean, yeah. Is there anything else really that you can think of for this game?
No, I mean it was a tough game all out. I mean, obviously I got to give a shout out though to that fucking play by DK Metcalf and Buda Baker. Buda Baker had an incredible interception, an incredible fucking run,
Mm-hmm.
but holy shit, DK Metcalf.
Yep, 90-yard return for
Like,
Buda Baker, and all you see is after he's gone like 10 yards ahead, you just see DK get around his receiver that's running slower than DK is, catch up to him, and still get that tackle. Sorry, that was a little bit loud there. ever. I just want to see who it is. Raging Warrior, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the football chat. Feel free to tell us, comment, question, whatever you have. Thank you for joining us. Now then, back to what I was saying here. Like I said, with the Seahawks though, we needed. I feel like we needed this loss because it's like I said, again, especially against division rival who have Murray and D Hop playing really well. The running game, honestly, with Kenyon Drake is pretty stout. Like I like it. But I feel like Seattle really needed this loss to really say, okay, we need to work on some stuff. Like Russ needs to, like Russ can do as much as he can, but the fact that we don't, you know, have much of a defense stopping them as much as we want them to, we definitely need to work on that. Our O line needs to protect Russ a little bit better, and shoot, Russ needs to make better throws. Like just spread the ball out. Like don't 20 targets to Lockett is way too much. Like I don't like that. I don't like seeing one guy get the ball every time. Like you spread the ball. Let's like you have other receivers for a reason. Use them. And up next we have the Bears and the Rams game, which don't believe we talked about yet, did we?
We have not.
All right. Well, quarterback situation is completely, pretty much two sided. Like you have one side where it's Nick Foles, 261 yards, 28 of 40, but 0-2 touchdown interceptions with two interceptions, zero touchdowns. On the other side, you got Jared Goff, 23 of 33 with 220 yards, two touchdowns, zero interceptions. And also with Foles, you have four sacks for 30 yards, which definitely does not help your team. Nor does the running game help when you have only 49 yards rushing to Los Angeles's 160 yards with one touchdown as well. So already there's that helps give the Rams the advantage over the Bears. But also, one thing I want to talk about is that I watched this game and I can say that I still love Nick Foles as quarterback, but he needs to hit his targets because there was at least one play I saw where Darnell Mooney here had like it was a fake handoff and they were like basically trying to do like a hitch route where they were going to come back and act like they were going to try to go for a block and then just start heading up and start for a streak up field. And Mooney caught the guy right when he did his stutter step back and then forward, and the cornerback bit so hard on it. So Mooney was gone. He was ahead, catch it. He's going to be gone for a touchdown. And Nick Foles missed him by 5 or 10 yards, and it was horrible, like horrible to watch. I mean, because I was just like, that was it. Like he catches that, he's gone, touchdown, no problem. But Nick Foles missed him, like I said, 5 or 10 yards, and I was just like, dude, you need to hit that throw. Like you need to hit it. Like, oh, it was rough. That was a rough one to see. Um, but one thing that was pointed out to me, and we definitely want to say we nominated for our special teams player of the week, would have to go to Johnny Hecker, who had five total punts today or that day, and all of them, all five punts, end up in the 20-yard line for the other team. So every drive they started within the Bears 20, 15, 10-yard line. Ridiculous day for the punter, but well done to make them have to start so deep in their field of play, if you
It was very sad. No Bears win this week.
will. No biz.
I mean, the Rams just like the. I mean, shout out to Hacker.
Yep.
Like, it's just, he had 5 punts. All of them were within the 10-yard line.
Mm. All the way.
Longest was a 63-yard punt. Fucking absolutely beautiful. I mean, I think it was 100% him that just held the Bears so far back that they couldn't get anything accomplished.
Wow. Within the 10-yard line, that's even better. I wish they would actually show that stat, honestly. Like they would actually like
Yeah, they
advertise
showed that
that.
within the 20, but
Yeah, because they show within the 10. That's the fact that he hits every punt within the 10-yard line. That's like all pro numbers right there. That's like, okay, screw everything else. He's an all pro punter for this division. Screw it. Like that's a hell of a game. That is a hell of a game for a punter. Otherwise, like I said, for that game, I definitely want to see Nick Foles get better. I still like him as quarterback, but definitely a rough game going against the Rams, who just did not give them any sort of leeway to do anything. All right. Well, after that crazy ass week, yes, it was a crazy week. A lot of close games, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of moments. Time for us to start talking about next week, or starting today, moving on to this weekend. Well, I let me try that again. I'm a liar. Haha. We have to do our awards actually. You know me, I like to lie sometimes, Chief. So, we got our Week 7 award here with, as you can tell, our Offensive Player of the Week, which was a tough one to say because there was a lot of good players this week. You know, shout out Devontae Adams, 13 catches, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett, uh, 3 touchdowns, 200 yards for 15 catches. But we had to go with one, and it would have to be Kyler Murray with his amazing day against the Seahawks, who one undefeated, two he just destroyed them with 3 touchdowns, and he threw a pick. He did throw a pick. I'm not gonna lie, but he also scored a rushing touchdown as well, and was able to basically get his team down the field to score the go-ahead touchdown to then have their defense step up and get an interception to end the game so that they would win it. So honestly, Kyler Murray, great game. Like I said, stepped up, had a hell of a production, and led his team to victory against the Seattle Seahawks, and basically said, "Hey, we're still here. We're in this too." Defensive Player of the Week. That was a tough one too. I want to give a shout out real quick to Jerry Hughes of the Bills. 6 tackles, one forced fumble, one interception, and was there a sack as well? You said. I feel like there was a sack.
um,
But basically,
think no, Hughes had 2 sacks.
oh, 2 sacks. Jerry Hughes, 2 sacks, 6 tackles, 2 sacks, forced fumble, and an interception. So he was all over the field doing what he can, making guys miss and etc. I had to go with Devin White on this one only because he had 11 total tackles, 9 solo. He had 3 total sacks against Carr, which I think is all the sacks that he had. So he made sure Derek Carr knew that he was there. He scared like he was going after him, and basically kept pressuring Carr to you know to make sure he couldn't get his throws off, which pretty much worked. And the Bucks, like I said, destroyed the Raiders 45-20. So kudos to Devin White for leading that defense in that pretty much astounding victory and doing what they can to hold off the Raiders while the Buccaneers were just rolling in the end zone, pretty much. And rookie of the week, um, pretty much I'll let Chief hold this one because it was
I mean, yeah, I say it was. I mean, a little cop out, but I mean, also not. I think Joe Burrow had an incredible week. I mean, he's had an incredible season so far, honestly. But I think as far as rookies go, he stood out the most as just that constant reliability. I'll give a shout out to Edwards-Helaire too. He's been very helpful to the Chiefs. But I think this week Joe Burrow outshined the other rookies on the field.
and very much agreed to. Yeah, I mean, like you said, all the other rookies played occasionally, but like Joe Burrow just constantly just showing up, and you know, it's hard not to pick him. It's hard not to pick him in some weeks. And also let you handle this one. Biggest bust of the week from we both
Definitely giving
decided
that
this,
one
but
to yeah, definitely giving that one to Todd Gurley.
yep.
Um, I mean, yeah, that I mean, it sucks for him, but jeez, just you gotta be aware of what you're trying to do and
Situational
everything.
awareness, absolutely. Like, I trust me, I understand that because again, being a Seahawk fan that I am, just this last year before like to get in the playoffs to beat we had to beat the Niners to get the NFC West division title. And now coming to the field, Marshawn Lynch. And then, freaking everyone's dancing, having a good time. Marshawn Lynch is coming on the field. Little do we know, there's a freaking thing called a play clock still running. And all of a sudden, we just hear delay of game, offense, 5 yard penalty. When we were on the 1 yard line, now we're at the 6 yard line
Mm-hmm.
because we were too busy celebrating the fact that Marshawn Lynch was in the field. So yeah, trust me, I understand situational awareness, and I still it like you said, you gotta like. I know your like main goal is to get upfield and bust through lines, but you need to know like at some point you just gotta drop. You just gotta be like just fall, just go straight down. Like the minute like I said, like he just pull the ball and tuck in and just roll over. That's what I would have done. But I don't know. That's my go-to for that. And I put the Falcons as also part of the bus because again, I'd be pissed off as a player for the defensive squad if I'm watching that whole thing unfold and I'm watching Lions defense trying to get them to score, the Falcons offense trying not to score, basically all saying that they don't want your defense against their offense. Like, and I'm a defensive player like for that team, I'd be fucking livid. Like, you're gonna disrespect me like that? You're gonna tell me that I'm not a good player and that I can't stop some fucking Stafford guy from like scoring on me? No, I'm gonna go get this guy. Like, and then, but that's just me. I mean, like, yeah, they're probably looking at it like, like, oh well, the last few games we've kind of given up a lot of points, like, and it's just like it just like I've said before, I'll say it again, just I'm baffled. It makes me just sell the whole defense, get rid of them, completely restart fresh new. Just you can't just give up like that. You gotta fight. Like, come on, you're in the lead. You were in the lead. Just hold them. Like, seriously, you have a minute. Just freaking play defense for a minute, for God's sakes. Play. And like I said, special teams player of the week because it's been a weird season for special teams players, but hell of a time. Johnny Hecker, 5 punts all down inside the 10-yard line to make these guys drive all the way downfield. Ridiculous day for that punter. Hell of a game. And shout out to Tyler Bass going 6 for 8 field goals, scoring all of Buffalo's points in the game against the Jets. Yes, what was it called? Yes, the Jets, or the Bills didn't score a touchdown, which is baffling, especially against the Jets. But you know what? That's why I'm shouting out Tyler Bass. 6 for 8, won the game. Holy shit. All right. And last up on our schedule, our predictions for next week, which hopefully won't be too bad, but man, this season's turning into a big old cloud. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I can't tell you who I think is going to win what. It's been fun to watch. I enjoy it. People keep trying to ask too, like, who do you have going to Super Bowl? Who do you have going to Super Bowl? I don't know. Like, the only reason why I say it is because it's so open right now. Everybody's playing like you have some teams obviously we're like, yeah, they're not like Jets going to Super Bowl? No. Giants? No. Okay. But
Nope.
but as far as for like, you know, could I say Seattle's for sure going to Super Bowl? No. Because I think Arizona could go to Super Bowl too. I think the Packers could go to Super Bowl. I think the Bears could go to Super Bowl once they figure out Nick Foles' situation. There's a lot going on right now. I'm just saying it's hard to decide. It's just such a crazy year, and I love it. Freaking just having a great time with it. All right, so Falcons Panthers, a great division rivalry. Lord, I want to pick Falcons, I really do, but man, just these last few games, like, I mean, I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one. What do you got?
Yeah, I went Panthers as well. Just
Yeah, of course, there's Iverson. Jets going Super Bowl. I'm about to delete your message. Shut
Brr, 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 brr.
up.
No. Yeah, I went
Jets are
Panthers
going
as
to
well.
Super
I
Bowl.
think.
Hold on, I got you there, Iverson. Let me finish your message. There you go. I got you back.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go. You son of a bitch. But yeah, Panthers. I'm just seeing them. They're probably it's not gonna be a big blowout win. It's gonna be like a touchdown or a field goal win. But it's hard. It's like you with Minshew right now in the Jaguars. Like every time I want to say Falcons are gonna have a chance, they have a chance. They just blow that chance every time. So
Yep,
yeah, I gotta give it to the Panthers, and you're going Panthers as well.
absolutely.
We're on the same page. Moving on. And we got Patriots versus Bills. I'm going with the Bills. I mean, the Patriots, I don't know what happened to them last week. I don't know what's going to happen to them this week. But I do know that the Bills are still steady. They're still playing well, even though last week was kind of a weird, flukish game with the kicker. But I still see the Bills beating the Patriots this next week.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Um, I don't think Patriots have it together. I mean, I'm not saying they're completely out, but I think it's Bills are strong. Bills are, I mean, I wouldn't say always competition, but Bills are definitely in the running this year, and
I'm
this
interested.
isn't a game to take lightly.
I'm definitely interested to see the Bills and the play and the which one call it though this year in the playoffs. I want to see how well they do. Like because like I said, we've seen them doing really well the regular season, but the playoffs are a whole nother story. They could be in and out like that, you know. Again, bringing up my Seattle team, Seattle Mariners, 2001, 116 wins in the regular season, out in the first round. Pissed me off. Anyway, next up we have the Titans versus Bengals. Oof. Man, I want to give it to Joey Burrow so bad. I really do. I want him to win. I don't know. I feel like Tennessee's defense is stacked though. I feel like Tennessee. Oh, it's a tough one. Would you? I'll let you decide first. What would you?
I went with the Titans on that. Honestly, for your same reason, I want Burrow to win, or I want Burrow to do good, but I also think that that defense is going to stop him.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta go with the Titans. I'm just like in my head. I'm thinking about it, and I'm already. You can go with the Bengals, Iverson. I don't blame you on that, but only thing I'm worried about is that Titans D line linebacking core getting through the O line and getting Burrows like for like a sack or anything like that because honestly I don't trust the like Titans have good offensive linemen, but right now I just feel like the the Titans defense could overpower the or I'm sorry, not the Titans O line, the Bengals O line are okay-ish, but the Titans D line is really strong, and I feel like they're gonna overpower the O line really quickly. Raiders versus Browns. Oof, tough one. If Baker plays the way he did last week, I'm going with the Browns.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If he plays, or I mean, if he plays the same way, Browns, but based off of OBJ not playing, Nick Chubb being out,
Yeah,
um,
until like at least next
I
week.
am, yeah, I am going with the Raiders on this one. I'm not reluctantly. This is one of, I think I
It'd
have
go
like
either
two or
way.
three games this week that I'm iffy on. This is one of my iffy games this week.
No, I agree with that because it's a
But
tough one. Because as I said, Baker had a great game last week, and the Raiders got stopped by the Buccaneers. But that could insinuate the Raiders wanting to win this next game because of the fact they got stomped. And so now they're like, well, what the fuck? No, we're gonna go kick Baker Mayfield's ass now, or something like that. Whereas Baker just had a great game, and now he could resort to playing like he did a lot the first 6 weeks and just play and throw for like 2 touchdowns and hope he doesn't get sacked or some shit. So I'm gonna stick on the Oppo and stick with the Browns. But like you said, just because like for these like iffy games, I like to have one of each just to see what could happen. You know,
So I'm sorry, who'd you say?
I'm gonna stick with the
You're on.
Browns. If you're going Raiders, I'm gonna stick with the
All
Browns.
right.
Just because I want, like I said, it's an iffy game. I want to see what happens. That's all I care about is seeing the fun score and stuff. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Colts
I
versus
can respect it.
yeah, Colts versus Lions. I'm going with the Colts.
I went Colts too.
I think that the Colts defense is mostly like I'm not worried about their offense. I think Colts defense is going to shut down Stafford. They're like the top two. I think like if not number one, they're like number 2 or 3 defense in the league right now for yards a game and everything. I think they're gonna just make Stafford just. It's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great defensive game for the Colts for sure. Next up, we got a division rivalry:
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings versus the Packers. By the way, you say Colts or Lions? You said Colts, right?
I said Colts.
Okay.
I said Packers for this one. Aaron Rodgers is on a fucking streak.
Mm-hmm. This one I gotta
My
go with the
God.
Packers too, but it's gonna be a good game because division rivalries, like I said, a million times over, are always the best games to watch because we could say, "Oh, Packers are gonna win," but then all of a sudden Minnesota could win by like 35-28 because Kirk Cousins doesn't like green. You know, I don't know. It's the way it like literally like it's just it's one of those things where you know like division rivalries are always great games because they play each other twice a year. They know each other. They don't like each other, and they want to play against each other. So it's always fun to watch. I knew you'd pick Packers there, Everson. It could be Packers versus Giants, or like not Giants, like not New York Giants, but like actual like 10-foot Giants. You'd still be like, Packers are still gonna kick your ass.
Packer Nation, bro.
Respect. Next up, oh, uh, we got Jets versus Chiefs.
Chiefs. So, and there's Rams versus Dolphins. Uh,
Jets the Chiefs. Chiefs next. Rams versus Dolphins. We're gonna go with
I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to be a dick on that one. That's just you got the reigning the reigning Super Bowl
if the
champions
Jets
that are
get their
6-1.
first win off the Chiefs, I'm selling my kidneys. I swear to God. Like, how the fact that the Chiefs are going to yeah, I'm sorry. I no.
I will do this. I will say this on record. How many people? 5 people in the stream. If the Jets win, and I'm not talking like some bullshit like, the bus crashes on the way to the Chiefs game and the Chiefs have to fucking play their fourth string everybody.
Oh my.
But like if the Chiefs somehow miraculously lose, I will go out, I will purchase a Jets jersey and I will wear it the entirety of our football talks on camera.
Better get yourself a Jets Joe Flacco jersey.
Like straight, I would actually get a Jets Flacco jersey. That would be the one I got. Like I would at least feel semi okay about that. Not great, but semi okay.
At least he
Um,
was a former Raven.
yep, I will rock that all season long if the Jets somehow pull this one off.
Right? Iverson's going Jets, so well we'll see Iverson. I'm just saying though that she oh man. I want to watch this game just because I'm scared now. Like just because we put it out there in the universe, like something's gonna happen where Joe Flacco's arm's gonna turn into a freaking like Arnold Schwarzenegger arm, and he's gonna be like, and he's just
If the
gonna
Jets, yeah, if
he's
the
gonna
Jets
throw
win,
like 5
I
touchdowns.
want it documented that I am the reason why the Jets got a win. And I want some sort of
I want compensation
retribution,
for my voodoo
compensation for my
witchcraft
efforts.
abilities.
Yeah, I threw that energy out into the universe, so like,
I want comp.
thank you very much.
Now that energy's out there, I want my money back for it, please.
But, okay, seriously though, now Rams versus
Yeah.
Dolphins. Who you
Rams.
got, Jet?
Oh well, this is Tua's first game in the starting quarterback, so this will be an interesting one to watch with him. Oh, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one,
Yep, I'm going Rams as well.
but I
I don't.
definitely
I
want to see
think
Tua like start off well. But I just he's still a
yes.
question. He's still a giant question mark.
I mean that's yeah. I want Tua to do good, but I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off against the Rams. The Rams are a very solid team this year.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is awesome, and if Johnny Hecker keeps pinning them back on the fucking 6 yard line every time they punt the ball, I mean it's going to be hard for them to keep it moving.
It's true. This is true. And honestly, yeah, it's a tough one. It really is because I just man, because I want, like I said, it's another team I want to see do a little bit better. I want to see the Dolphins. I want to see Tua lead this team to victory. But against the Rams, that's a especially with Aaron Donald and that defensive line and linebacking front. Ooh, Lord, like I feel like Tua's gonna get sacked at least 4 or 5 times. Like I see it. Or he's gonna get
Oh
chased
yeah,
out of the pocket.
absolutely.
I mean, he's gonna get chased out of the pocket probably half the game, honestly. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game to watch. Like definitely gonna be a wake up call for Tua for sure too.
Oh, absolutely.
Next up, oh, this one's yours there, Chief. Steelers Ravens.
Ugh.
Oh,
I feel like I'm in the spot that you were last week,
you like the Ravens,
and
but
I mean the Ravens are my team, but I'm scared this week. The Steelers have been I mean the Steelers defense has been quite unstoppable.
yeah,
Um,
I mean last week, yeah, it
I
was a close
mean
game with the Titans, but I mean the first the the Steelers were ahead like 24-7 for most of that game. Like it just the Tennessee just turned up at the end. But yeah, that Steelers defense has been just rock solid this year. T.J. Watt and all of them, Bud Dupree, Cameron Hayward. Goodness.
I mean this is my I think Steelers are going to give a real good fight. This is one that if I had to put money on it, I wouldn't. Um, this is going to be a super fucking close game. Um, I don't know. What are you picking, Jet?
Mm, I'm saying it's gonna be a close one, but the Steelers are gonna pull away. Like just barely, only because Roethlisberger has the experience against the Ravens. Um, I think that James Conner is going to get shut down though because Calais Campbell and that defensive line front, especially with Yannick Ngakwe, it's going to be a really good defensive line. But I feel like Roethlisberger is going to have not a whole field day, but he's going to do well against the secondary.
I can respect that.
Now I'm not like I said, I could be wrong, and we could see him come out and throw 3 more picks like he did against the Titans, but I don't know. This, like I said, this division matchup is going to be a very, very interesting one to see.
I mean, I can't bet against my boys. I'm gonna have to go Ravens, but it's gonna be a close game. I was gonna switch out my battery, so give me 2 seconds.
Stewie Griffin is my broker. I need Ravens to win. Okay. So you got my money? Oh, oh, that OJ was pretty good. I know you're talking about. Chargers versus Broncos. So basically, no, I'm just kidding. I was gonna be very mean here and say so. Basically, it's who versus cares. I'm just kidding there. But I'm honestly gonna give it to the Chargers. I like Herbert. I think he's doing a lot better than Drew Lock is with the Broncos. I I want to see Herbert develop more too. Like I feel like this is gonna be a great game for him to really experiment, if you will, with his receivers, be able to do more plays, kind of see what works, what doesn't work. And I feel like Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay are just gonna decimate the defense with their running game as well. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going Chargers as well. I think Herbert's had quite a good couple of games, and I mean, I think this is definitely going to be one where he's able to come out with the W because the Broncos ain't doing the best this year.
the Broncos, yeah, they the last couple of years they just really have been struggling figuring out that quarterback position, and this year's just not any better, pretty much. Next up, we got the Saints and Bears. Oof. Um. Yikes. I mean, it's a tough one, dude. Like, I want Nick Foles to win again, but it's against the Saints.
Oh well, Bantan.
You can go bear down.
I gotta. I'm riding that wave this year. I think
I'm
last week pissed him off.
want to join you on that, dude. I so badly want to say Bears. Like, I really do. I feel like the Saints are gonna, because I feel like Mike Thomas came back to practice. So I feel like he's gonna be there this week.
Bear.
Mm,
Tan.
I just can't.
You know you want
I
to,
gotta
Jet.
roll with the Bears. I don't want. I want to say Saints, but I'm also like my gut's just saying like no, Bears, the Bears, the Bears. So I'm like, all right, screw it. Nick Foles, step up, boy. Have a good game against the Saints. Do your thing. Don't make me regret this. And I know Iris is over there going like, shut the fuck up. We want Bears to lose. Packers.
Duh. Bears.
The
Iverson.
best, the best, the best, the best. Another division rivalry that's going to be a great one. 49ers and Seahawks. It's going to be a tough one because the Niners have a great don't have a great running back system, which was good for us because Seattle can handle that. But Garoppolo and his wide receivers will decimate the Seattle secondary. Now, as far as for their defense against our offense, no, I don't think San Francisco's secondary is that great per se. But where's it at anyway? Let me see this real quick. think it's I think it's actually in Seattle, right?
Um. it- it- yes.
Yeah.
Seattle.
So if it's in Seattle, God, yeah, I gotta go with Seattle on this one only because Niners are Garoppolo still is nice and but in Seattle, Seahawks are really hard to beat in Seattle, and I know Niners have been there every like I said every 2 games for the last however many years that the CenturyLink's been up, but it's gonna be a I'm gonna go with Seattle by like 3, pretty much.
Okay.
49ers are
Yeah, I
in.
think it's gonna be.
I know they are, but still, it's gonna be a close game because Seattle's not doesn't have the greatest team. Would you go with though?
I went Seahawks as well. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Seahawks are going to pull this one out, especially with all the 49er injuries.
Yeah, and that's what Iverson was saying too with the injuries. And the next we have the Cowboys versus Eagles. I gotta give it to Philadelphia. I mean, rip the Cowboys like season right now because I mean I hope the bet for Ben DiNucci. The fact they have this rookie kid from James Madison, they said, like where people are like, wasn't he a president? He was. They also have a college after him. No one knows about it. But anyway, they have this kid from there who's their third string quarterback who's starting now because you got Dalton injured, you got Dak Prescott out for the year. So here comes this kid Ben DiNucci. I mean, hell, he might be like their next Tony Romo or something. He might actually step up and make some good numbers. You never know. Eagles, screw Cowboys. Yeah, he just doesn't like him. but
Yeah, poor
I,
Cowboys.
but yeah, like I'm excited to see how Zanucci does. But overall, I'm going with the Eagles because yeah. And last but certainly not least, we got the Buccaneers versus the Giants. G-Men going the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks.
One of those things where
Fucking Tom's looking great.
yep. And sorry, New York teams. Just like I said, everyone in the city of New York is looking forward to the draft. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. We'll see what happens. All right, and that is it on predictions. And no, poor Cowboys. Screw Cowboys. I know, Iverson. You and your favoritism and all that good stuff. But that is it for this week's football talk. For all those who just joined in, I know it's kind of towards the end when most of you joined in. This will be on YouTube here in the next, I would say, hour. It will be on YouTube. I'll be sharing it on my Twitter then. But thank you guys all for stopping by. Iverson, as always, even though you were saying some shit. Just kidding. We definitely love having you here. Love hearing from everybody. Squid, also when he was in here. Definitely want more of that. Definitely want more of you guys coming in here, more of you chatting with us. We love the conversation. We love the, you know, even if it's like you don't agree with what we're saying, feel free to say something. Be like, hey, I don't think that this is this because, and give us your reasoning. Don't just say like, oh, I think Baker Mayfield's a great quarterback because he's attractive. I'd be like, I mean, I'm great. You think he's physically attractive? That don't mean shit. I'm just saying. But like, as far as where that goes, I do like actually the conversation. I know that Chief here does as well. Um, like I said, I know sometimes I over talk him, and I do apologize for that. We will be fixing that soon.
Got my camera working. It's
Yep,
coming. Don't worry, people.
we about to see the face of just Squatch. We about to have him on here.
Squanch!
You're about to see him get annoyed as shit with me talking and telling me to shut up. Just kidding. But we
You're
will
like
have.
Jesus Christ, Jack.
But definitely stick around for that. We will have that out there for you guys. Coming soon. But for now, this one's done. Gonna go ahead and end it here. And if you want to see what we said about any of these games, you see right here off to let's see here, that way. Right. Well, there's all that text chat, but farther that way. You want to see us talk about any of those games that we talked about this last week or our predictions and all that again. They'll be on YouTube. Feel free to check that out. Jets have a higher chance of the Super Bowl than Cowboys. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, Iverson. But shut up, Iverson. Anyway, we're gonna, like I said, end this here. Put it on YouTube. I'll be back in probably half hour to an hour. Like I said, just kind of want to put this on YouTube, and I need some food. Starving. So I'll catch up with y'all then.
Same.
Chief here. Thank you for being here as always. Everyone show Chief the love because it's Chief Squatch.